Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the URC. I have sat here for about a minute waiting for my little thingy to say that it did go live, but we are now live, ready for this game. The Stormers away from home taking on Benetton. What should be a very entertaining match of the URC. And the thing is, these two sides are pretty evenly split in terms of the odds, both given great chances of being able to go on to win this game. Quite a few changes across the starting lineups too for these sides. We'll be looking through at all of them in the very near future. First of all, for Benetton, they have got Thomas Garchot, the Argentine international, up front alongside Saul Amali and also Simeone Ferrari. So some pretty strong timber up front here for Benetton. They have to set that strong base going because scrums, something we saw in that Sharks game up against the Scarlets. It's something we saw in the game prior between Lions and Ulster. South African sides, they love to scrummage. And if they can get a little bit of control in this game, the Stormers, through the scrum, that is where they should be able to run away with the fixture. Whereas if Benetton can be competitive and even win a few scrum penalties of their own, that will certainly give them a great chance getting themselves the win here. Nicolo Canoni, I should say, alongside Favretto as the locking duo for this game. Sebastian Negri alongside Mikel Lamaro and also Lorenzo Canoni slotting in as the number 8. Andy Uren and Jacob Umaga in their 19 combination. And Ashio Mendy, he is out on the left wing. Marin and Mononcello, making up the midfield. Lewis Liner out on the other wing and Matt Gallagher at 15. This is a strong Benetton liner. You know, you look through it and there's a ton of talent, massive chance to get the win up against these Stormers. The Stormers starting lineup, it is Matongo in the front row alongside Andre Hugo Fenta and also Sandy starting in at 3. In the locking duo, Selma Mura alongside JD Schickerling with Paul de Villiers, Ben Jason Dixon and Evan Ruiz starting in as the 8. That man will be fired up because once again he's missed out on the Springbok squad. Now he hasn't missed out completely. He is in the injury cover list, but we have already seen one man drop from that list in Wano Augustus due to a bit of an injury. Hopefully nothing too severe and he will be back in the near future. But Evan Ruiz, if there's any sort of injury, he wants to be that first name that does get the call to head into the main squad. In the 9 and 10 combination, it's going to be Yuri Matia starting in at 10. And Duvanacha starting in as the 9. Lilion Zas out on one wing. Damien Valimza and Ruan now making up the midfield with Sanutla out on the right wing and Watakalant at number 15. So in this case, they have not got Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu. They have not got Mani Libok, of course, as he is tied up with Japan now, but also a couple fly half Springbok options that perhaps we could see in the near future. For Rasi side, off of the bench, some pretty handy players as well. Zachary Porthin, the recently called up man, in the number 18 jersey, and also a massive chance for Kobus Reinach off of the bench here. Show what he can do in the Stormers colours. But this game not too far away from kicking off. Is Benetton the strongest Italian URC side? They certainly is, or they certainly are, I should say. Zebre, they've actually done not too badly this year so far. What are the bookies saying for this game and the Dragons game? So this game, they are pretty much splitting them down the middle. At this point in time, the Stormers have gone to underdogs. Now, only about 15 minutes ago when I checked, they were favourites. So it's pretty much a pick and split. Ospreys come in as favourites in their game up against the Dragons, even though they're away from home. 3 matches to go on simultaneously currently. Yeah, crazy to think that out of all the scheduling that we've had for the URC, we've got Leinster versus Zebre, Benetton versus Stormers, and also Dragons versus Ospreys all taking place at this exact same time. But we're going to be trying our best to keep you updated on all 3 of them. See how well we go. Hello from Cape Town, says Jeremy. Welcome in. And Stormers, bro, says Sean there. And Stormers, please don't disappoint, says Tonian. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The Stormers, they've had a pretty decent season so far in the URC. Looking through at the table, the way that it's set at the start of this round. Now, I will mention this is not the live standings. We have seen Glasgow go into number 1 spot because of their victory that they recently got over the Bulls. But in terms of that number 1 position, it is well and truly up for grabs. And the side here for the Bulls, for the Stormers, they're probably in with a pretty good shot of being able to just push themselves that little bit further forward up in the standings. We will be looking through at their previous games, though, in a very short moment. But I will mention, do let me know your score predictions for this match, ladies and gentlemen. Are you anticipating a high-scoring game? maybe a little bit lower. For me, I think this one's going to be relatively high scoring once the defence does break open. Both of these sides relatively solid with their tackle stats, but everyone loves a line break every once in a while. But looking through at Benetton's recent fixtures, they were able to get themselves a good win over the Glasgow Warriors. That was at the start of October. Then from there, a massive win over the Lions, 41 points to 15. Away from home, though, not so sharp for Benetton, losing 43-0 to Edinburgh in a game that went probably about as far from perfect as Benetton could have really wanted. For the Stormers, they started October with a win over the Ospreys, and since then they have got themselves 2 more victories. They sit 4 from 4, one of the undefeated sides in this URC competition, and they want to continue that streak, and the perfect way to do that is to get the win away from home up against Benetton. And at this matchup, Kobus Reinach, the super sub here. Okay, I'm back in the home team, says Heino there, and Sasha Feinberg and Maizulu heading to Japan, says Tonian. So he will be playing up against the Japanese, but Mani Libok heading to Japan as that part, if that was to do with the lineups. 15 degrees Celsius for this match, so decent weather for a bit of rugby. And Sharkies got lucky. Is Benetton a good team? I don't know them at all. Pretty decent. Like, you look through at this lineup, right? And if you've followed a little bit of the URC and also a bit of the Gallagher Premiership, like, this put together is actually a very good team. And I would say on any given day, if Benetton play their best rugby, they can actually beat every single side in the URC. And they've done it before. But the thing is, the Stormers at the moment, they are feeling confident. They've found a bit of momentum. High attention, Benetton. I want to play a good game of rugby. After last horrible match, let's Leone. And good match to all, says Tommaso in there. And please save our scores. I'm on a lucky streak, so I'm feeling lucky with my score. So you've gone 35-27 in favour of the Stormers. Is your prediction there. And Lina and Mononcello, yeah, they've got some really dangerous players across that back line. Jacob Umaga seems to have some pretty good control. The loose forward trio is just Italian internationals, and Lamaro, Negri, as well as Canoni. And we have got there, hey, no thanks, what's your score prediction? Hi everybody, hope your team wins, unless you're not supporting the Stormers. And I always support the South African sides, but I also kind of don't want my Bulls to be the only one to lose this round, says Yanko. Okay, so you're going with the whole, if this Stormers side lost too, then it's 50-50. It's sharing the losses in there as well. But they are just saying about that 6-2 split here for the Stormers, with Kobus Reinach featuring in that department. Both sides just about to make their way onto the field. We've had some brilliant games of rugby already today. We're waiting for that very close one. We'll see whether or not this is it. I'm going Benetton by 2, but it's very tight. Stormers have a chance to beat Benetton for the first time in Italy. Says Heino there. And the Stormers by 12, says Tonian. That's his prediction. But the Stormers, they are wearing that bright green kit. Like they have said, great start to the season. 4 wins from 4 here for the Stormers. So all they have to do is go out there and play like they have been. You know, they've been in some pretty solid control of their games as well. They haven't had too many close fixtures at the moment, the Stormers. Oh, there we go. Benetton have not lost a home game in exactly a year for the United Rugby Championship. So they want to keep that streak alive for a little bit longer if they can. But making their way out. Looks like a decent evening. Not a lot of rain expected or anything along those lines. 15 degrees Celsius. Holly Davison will be the one in charge of this game. Andrew McNemony, I think is the name there, is the man in charge of the TMO. This new format system with the team names is much better. Cheers, Bruce. But yeah, we will try and possibly do it for the URC moving forward. Of course, we've got about a month off from the URC now as well, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it can end up working. I know that my Wi-Fi's been poor, but I don't think that is at all down to the layouts. It's just literally been the weather that we've had. And Leka says, Yanko there, and Benetton, I haven't lost a home game in over a year. Last time was versus the Bulls, says Heino. So, yeah, it's actually a pretty impressive record for Benetton, and which is why this game might be a little bit more competitive than some do anticipate. But kicking it off, Yuri Matia, and we're underway for another game of the URC. It's been flying by today as well. I've had a bloody good time covering these URC games, as well as the international match between Australia and Japan. We had the NPC final. It's just been, I don't know, it's been cruisy for today. But Andy Uden inside of the 22 will kick it down towards the halfway line. Nicely taken under the high ball for Sanatla. Oh, big chopping tackle from Benetton around the halfway line, and that is something that they absolutely love to do. Try and knock the opposition down a couple pegs early. Now, big run forward from Evan Russ. Let's get his legs taken out from underneath him. Looking around for Damien Valimza at the moment in terms of what he's able to do in this back line. This is normally around the stage that Valimza gets injured, unfortunately, or at least that has been his trend in recent years. Now, a little kick attempted in behind from Watakalam, bit of a nothing one. Goes straight into the hands of Benetton. Now can create a bit of an attacking chance with Gallagher. Yeah, I would say the last thing that the Stormers want to do early here is just give the ball away to the opposition. As soon as you start doing that, you're pretty much just gifting Benetton possession. Afrikaans commentator says, Godfrey, sadly, I don't know a lot of Afrikaans. I know Bayadanki, I know Jou Lekker Ding. And I also know the swear words because I've been called them all. But penalty does go the way of the Stormers there. No clear release in the breakdown. I believe it is actually Watakalam who's popped in there. Now Yuri Matia. Ready to kick this one towards the touchline for the Stormers. Pretty decent crowd by the looks of it. This one, a little bit of a decent angle. Evan Russ, another player to definitely keep an eye on throughout this game. Type of player who is extremely physical, extremely aggressive as well. I also know Brodia says Azanda. Now ready to throw this ball in. The Stormers, they will be sitting about 40 metres out from the try line and looking for that first rolling maul of the day. Not really moving forward as of yet. The Vanacha looking for a box kick here, only the 40 metres out, but too deep there. Lilion Zas chasing after it, and Liner he's actually knocked that one on, so they do have the option of a scrum or a line out here for the Stormers. Looks like this line out going to be the choice that they go with. We have got their first 2 minutes survived without conceding a try, better than what some others can claim. So here's Yanko. True. Been some very quick tries throughout this round of the URC. Both sides just trying to get all of the grass out of their boots by the looks of it. First scrum looks like it's going to be a very physical one, but the Stormers, they will be packing down and looking to get a little bit of a punch here. 3 minutes in, Thomas Gasho up against Sandy here. Ferrari up against Matongo. The man in the middle, Andre Hugo Fenta, as well as Seula Mali will be there. Turn sideways, Hamish. You're covering the bomb squad. Arm in the way. There you go. Wait, is it? It's reversed for me, so I might have to squeeze in like this. There you go. Hopefully you can see both of them. I'm not going to sit like this for long though, because it does look a little bit weird. An advantage now. Scrum time for the Stormers. Damien Valimza passes on the outside. Chance here. Lilion Zaz, big wide. Cut out pass to Ciabello Sanatla with some nice step, and he gets the 10 metres out from the try line. Benetton quick into the breakdown. We can't get that steal. About 10 metres out for the line again. Evan Russ look for the pass. It has gone backwards, and they will go back for the penalty now. Stormers could take an easy 3. But it was the far side. No, you were right the first time. Yeah, see, for me, the names are actually backwards. It's actually extremely hard to read for myself. But, yeah. So it's this side. That side there. But yeah, hopefully it is decent font. I do know that this font is slightly different to the last live stream. Oh, right in the corner here. The Stormers are looking to get a rolling maul going. I like the aggressiveness early on. It's actually something that we've seen not just from the South African sides throughout this competition, but also just from a lot of teams in general. Sides looking for those 7-pointers now, rather than chasing after those slight chances of bonus points and whatnot. You pretty much, you have to go. Try and get as many points as physically possible early. Now here comes the rolling maul. What channel are you watching on? It is on URC TV for myself. Now getting a little bit closer, another advantage going the way of the Stormers. Ben Jason Dixon manages to get it back. The hands of Andre Hugo Fenta. And Jason Dixon looks like he's going to take on the carry himself. See Evan Russ, he's lurking round the back as well. He absolutely loves to get a carry from this distance. He scored a lot of tries in recent times. That's almost going to turn into a rolling maul from Benetton, but they're over there. It looks like it's the man in the 3 jersey, Suzy Sunday, who I don't think many people would have predicted to score the first try, but it is the first one of the match for the Stormers, and it's the first ever try for Sunday here. Wi-Fi now sorted out. What was the problem? Well, the thing is, it still only has me at 1 bar on my streaming software. So I don't know if it's necessarily sorted per se, but it's sorted enough that it's working. I had to reset the modem about 7 times, and it wasn't really doing the job. But we'll see what happens. I think they'll want to make their mark and kick to the corner, says Yanko. And yeah, that is exactly what they've managed to do there. Benetton, they're normally pretty decent with that rolling maul defence. I should mention Leinster have actually already scored a try up against Zebre as well in their matchup. So they're looking to come out of the gates firing just like the Stormers have. That one has missed away to the side for Yuri Matea, making the score now 5-0. Favour of the Stormers. Yeah, Leinster are 7-0 up. In fact, we'll try and get a little bit of the multi-view going. At least for myself, I'll be able to see. So yeah, Leinster leading. First try of the contest scored by, was Kenny. He was playing out on the right wing for that game. Currently, Dragons, Ospreys is still 0-0. Has begun, says her man. And Evan Russ, Russ's favourite. Well, that's the thing. I think Evan Russ, each and every week now, will go out there and just try and prove why he should be in the team. And that's good in a way. You know, you're going to have that a little bit of extra aggressiveness from Russ, as long as it's controlled chaos. That's the main C, or the main thing, I should say. Now, nicely taken. Oh, good collision there. Lilian Zas. I can't believe we're already 7 minutes in. I've said that on every single live stream, but these games are just flying by quicker than you'd expect. Thomas Gashaw. Tackled around that halfway line. And Uren again looking for that box kick here for Benetton. No hurry here for Andy Uren as he does put that one high. Chasing after it is Lewis Liner trying to slap it back, and it's gone into the hands one of his teammates, but it was forward in that scenario. I believe it was Sehula Mai who went up for it. I'd say with Evan Ruiz, the chaos is about 70% controlled. Says Yanko, and geez, Italian scored. And also, hello Hamish, you're back like the Terminator. I am. How many Terminator movies were there? That's such an irrelevant question that maybe someone will know. So I had to do one of them for film study, or like close viewing, how you had to look at the camera angles and whatnot. But I had never seen it. Go Stormers, says Franco. And so what's the beef here, Hamish? Stormers going to have a small winning score. I think that both sides will go for it here. I think we're getting 30 plus points, well, maybe not 30 plus, 25 plus points per team. That's what we'll go with. Either that or the Stormers are going to win by like 25 and Benetton aren't going to get too many. You got the Argentinian pronunciation of Gasho down pretty nicely too. Says Yanko. And go Evan. Says Brigitte. Sorry, that's Bridget, isn't it? How did I butcher Bridget so badly? I'm sorry for calling you a piece of French bread and baguette, but I do know that your name is Bridget. Now, ball available here. Kicked him behind from Benetton, looking for the 50-22. Benetton off with a bang. And six smoothies. That's a lot of them. Oh, that's kicked out on the full from the Stormers. I don't know why they're not going back for it. I thought it was outside of the 22. A good kick from Waddick Kalant. A 1-2-3, Salvation, Genesis, and Dark Fate. But only watch the first. Oh, okay, so they made more, but they aren't worth watching. That's what you're saying there. Now line out throw. And halfway line. I can't believe I called someone baguette. Sehula Mai. Ready to put this one in. Nicely taken. No contest. And cross kick. Our win here. As back to the top of the log. Just need Munster to lose. That one's going to be slapped back. Oh, what's happened? Uh-oh. Ciabello Sinatla's knee's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, he has gone down in a bunch here. And that looked really bad. Genesis is Kristen Bales fighting. And also Motorbikes and CGI Arnold's now short side running out of space. Taking out a cameraman too in the process. Let's get straight back to his feet, though. To take it like a champ. Snatler looking bad. Yeah, that did not look good whatsoever. He just went down without anyone even touching him. Who's that? Says Roof. So it is Snatler who stayed down. Don't forget the baguette. Says Xander. But yeah, this doesn't look good for Snatler. They have got the one replacement there. Kivith Reinach as well as Similani. I think Similani's going to be on right now. Just into touch. Cameraman getting cleaned up. They're just saying about Reinach being back from a MCL injury, but I don't. Yeah, nah. Snatler can't even put weight on this leg at the moment. Damien Willemse going over to help him off. Nah, he's just going to hop it. By the looks of it there, Snatler thought about going for it. But nah, that's going to be a big problem, I would say. That looks probably like a season ender for Snatler. He's standing but limping, definitely going off, says Yanko. I dare at least not in the Springboks, or is he? And knee injured due to a bad tackle. Nothing at all. He was just running across field. And then just goes down. That's the ugly one, you know. Something could have popped in that knee. ACL, MCL, anything around there. Yep, it is Bridget. Don't worry. We still love you in the commentary, of course. Says Bridget there, so greatly appreciated. But now, rolling more chance. Here comes Evan Russ. Run it back quite nicely. Now, just saying there, Similani is on the field for Snatler. That makes sense as well, seeing as he is the only back replacement they've got. Now, theoretically, they could put Reinach on the wing if they really needed to, but I don't think they would want to make that change this early. That was a little bit of a leg tip from one of the Benetton players. Now going to the short side. Our three players waiting for it. Stormers. Nice step from Andre Hugo Finta. Off to the right here, Yuri Matia going straight through, grabber on the inside, looking for a support runner. It's Seula Mai who manages to clean it up, and he's going to have to run it straight sideways. Goes into Similani. And it wasn't my leopard print G-string. Oh, something snapped. Okay, I get you. I was confused for a second. But now 10 metres out for the line. It is going to be a scrum feed for the Stormers. But I don't know. Seems like the Stormers certainly have another gear that they are finding here. Benetton haven't found their stride yet. But that doesn't mean that they won't, because they have scored some absolutely beautiful tries throughout this year. Had a pain in the groin recently. I just turned over in bed. Have to be careful, says Bruce. I had a pain in the groin earlier today. But that is because I got a cricket ball right in there. So that makes sense. But the groin, because of a turn in bed, that's slightly concerning, I would think. I think you better, or might be better off moving someone like Damien Willemse or Warwick Lant on the wing. See, there's Yanko there. Yeah, there's a bit of a reshuffle that may happen in the back. Would you go... I'm trying to look around to see where Willemse is. Willemse still looks like about a third receiver at the moment. Now line out throw for Seula Mai. And let the water under the sky be gathered in one place. And let dry ground appear. And if it was so, let there be light. And there was Evan Russ, says Casper. See, what I took from that is you mentioned about water. And it reminded me that I was choking on water just before this live stream. I forgot how to drink it and just had a right good old coughing fit before I ended up coming on to the stream. It was not ideal. But we're good now, so that's a bonus. Now that one's going to be kicked downfield. This one's not too far down into the half of Benetton. A back and forth type of game at the moment. Big collision round the halfway line. Benetton again with Jacob Umaga looping around now this time. Bit of a spin coming from Leonardo Marin. Now Jacob Umaga, he's running that ball sideways. Passes off to the side. Big smashing tackle. They'll go back for the penalty. Stormers are ahead. I saw wrong. I thought Spaghetti was ahead. Says Ruth. Holly Davidson. And the water that penalty. Jacob Umaga will point at the posts. They're going to be eyeing up their first points of the day. Have the ex-husband to blame for the name. A South African originally from Cape Town. Is it McCullum or McCallum? I assume that is. Is that from... where would McCallum be from? Is it New Zealand? We've got a couple McCallums over here, but maybe Scottish or Irish. Kiwi lad, you must not choke to death. We need this channel. I will try my best not to choke to death, Casper. But, you know, when you get into that real rhythm of going, I can't actually breathe while coughing, and then you go, oh, well, it's a good run. But, no, we recovered. Now, chance here for Jacob Umaga. It does sound like a fancy whiskey, though. I'll take a 20-year-old McCallum. That kick has gone over from Jacob Umaga from 40 plus out, and that now makes the score 5 points to 3. I've just mentioned there the first points in 90 plus minutes for Benetton in a game of rugby. Is Sid Going still alive? Not sure. To be honest, Capetonian. Says Ruth. Now kicked off Yuri Matia. And then back underway. It's going to be taken inside of the 22 by Sebastian Negri. Now Andy Uren. Go the Stormers. Says Hurley in there as well. Collision. Oh, Evan Russ having a bit of a wrestle. He does enjoy it in the breakdown. Even when the ball doesn't look like it's available to be stolen, he'll still go for it anywhere. Or anyway. And Go Stormers says Hurley in. That was going to be the hands of Watercaland. Damien Valimza now trying to find a gap. Finds it off to Yuri Matia. Goes back to Valimza, who knocks it on. And Google said going, he died last year. Says Yanko. Now ball back in the hands of Benetton. They have got themselves the knock-on advantage as well. And so going was the best scrum half ever for the All Blacks. Says Ruth. Now ball on the outside. A little bit of a shuffle. 16 minutes into the contest. I don't know whether or not we'll have a drinks break for this one. Enjoy your commentary, and the chats are quite funny. I subscribe, Go Stormers. Says Keegan, and it is greatly appreciated. I will mention these late night live streams are normally the ones that I get easily distracted. We've been up for almost 24 hours with the exception of a little 60-minute nap. But no, there's been some great rugby on today. It's about the 14th hour of streaming too. So basically the All Blacks just in the Vesthuizen. And can't imagine drinks break in 15-degree weather. Wouldn't surprise me, you know. You just never know what's going to happen. When do you sleep? Says Christopher McCarthy. That's a great question. Well, I managed an hour of sleep before the Lions-Ulster game. Normally I like to sleep at night time, but you wouldn't believe it. But, like, it depends a little bit. Like, the next time that I will sleep decently is probably going to be during the day today, so that I can then get up later on so that I can do the Tonga versus Samoa Rugby League game. And then from there, hopefully in bed by like 2 a.m.-ish. Somewhere around there. Now, Jacob Umaga. Ready to line up this kick again. And Benetton would take the lead if this one does go over. Sid was short. Hamish just take power naps during halftime. Says Yanko on what area of the field. This one's currently 52 metres out for Jacob Umaga off the tee. It's looking pretty good too. It goes over. And Benetton now leading 6 points to 5. So it is very small. Hamish, my Australian aunt, is even nicer than my South African aunt. But they don't like the rest of my family too much. Says cool story. And respect bow, says Christopher. Yeah, like even though it does seem like I'm always awake, I do manage to get around that kind of 7-8 hours roughly. You know, with the exception of the weekends, I'll catch up on that sleep a little bit, or at least I try to. Because or else I just can't function. I end up pretty much getting overtired drunk where I just ramble, which you guys are experiencing right now. And gone to the big match in the sky was Justin Jonah. I actually got a Jonah Lomu book today. Fun fact. I don't read books much, so I have to learn, well, I was going to say I have to learn how to read it, but I know how to read. It's just I don't normally read anything more than the comments. Little grubber behind from Similani. Tell you what, Ruan Nell, he almost looked like he was keen to get that one going. They're actually going to go back for another penalty here, this time in favour of the Stormers. I kind of hope they go for the corner. I feel like there is a mentality that the Stormers can use to their advantage here. You're in the passing channel. That was not a Scottish accent. How do you do a Scottish accent? I can do a man's Scottish accent. I don't think I can do a woman's Scottish accent. No, my brain broke. Did you watch the Springboks documentary Chasing the Sun too? I actually didn't. Hamish, doing sleep every 24 hours? Yeah, see, no matter what, I have to set an alarm. Because there was one time after a huge weekend of streaming, I slept for 26 hours straight. And that was very concerning. Well, maybe not for 26 hours straight, but I'd wake up and go, I'm still tired. I went back to sleep. And I missed a whole day. It was very confusing. I don't think Lomu ever scored against the Box. Could be wrong. No, you are correct. Gets brought up all the time. That kick has gone over from the Stormers, though, and they are going to now be leading this game 8 points to 6. I've heard ghettos sound a bit like girls. Ghettos? Does it? Oh, what's the difference between the men and women's Scottish accents? I think it's just the pitch of them. Like, I can say, like, Brun. Gregor Brun. But, Gregor Brun. I want to hide, but this stream's, like, wider now because of the lineups. That wasn't good. But that's why I don't do Scottish accents. That's also not what Scottish people sound like. But now, rolling this one back. Duvanacha. Let's put it high. Stormers will win. Says William Moses, it might work better for Americans, to be honest, says Yanko. An interesting John Olomu book. I'm on page 2403 of Lord of the Rings. A quarter of the way through this match as well. We are going to have a scrum here. And we dram of whiskey boyo. And Lyle says McNulty. And I don't think I should ever attempt a Scottish accent again. It's not the best one I can do. Yeah, it's just a big knock on there from the Stormers, which means Benetton do have themselves the scrum feed. We'll just forget that ever happened, right? We'll just move on. And McCarthy, McNulty, we've got a lot of mix here at the moment. Though one mick that I would absolutely love to see at the moment is McDonald's. Only because we were talking about food on the last live stream and now I still feel peckish. You English is a good thing to say in a Scottish accent. Andy Uren to feed the ball in for Benetton. It's the one try at the moment in this contest, and that came in the form of actually Suzzy Sunday. I don't think anyone would have been predicting that one. Just talking about the South African Springboks in this lineup. They have got Damian Valimza. They've got, of course, the ex-caps and Warwick Gallant, Salman Murat, Andre Hugo Venter, Ben Jason Dixon. But I feel like they just need one guy to step up here, and that could be Damian Valimza in this back line. Even Ruiz off to the side of the field there for a second set going, and Wayne Cottrell. A fly half was a lethal combination when the All Blacks played the Springboks in the 70s. Here's Casper. Now Uren again. Feed this ball in. The scrums have not really looked stable at all. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Benetton. Right now it looks like they might actually decide to just go for the up and under here. There was a Robert Cockerell. So here's Ruth. Got themselves the free kick. Jacob Umunga getting told to just boot this one as high as physically possible. Does just that. It goes high. We'll go into the 22 of the Stormers, but contestable. Lewis Liner trying to go up for it, and Salman Murat, the man who has been able to clean it up for Western Province in the 70s. And, they're going back to the knock-on from Lewis Liner. A little bit of attitude there from, I think it was Lorenzo Canoni. He was not happy about the knock-on call. Oh, it's against Favretto, and may have actually hit him in the head. Be classing him as slightly unlucky. Not usually a big fan of Murat, but that was pretty good. So here's Yanko. I've got red here and been to Scottish border. I think that means something. And that's the name of my two cousins, Christopher McClune and McCarthy McClune. So here's Robert McClune. Another scrum taking place here for the Stormers, so just looking to exit their own 22, I'm sure. No point throwing any sort of real risky play in there. Currently my screen has gone, okay, I have to sign in again to URC TV. I'm not sure why, seeing as I was signed in as I was watching the game. But it'll go like this. And with a little bit of luck, it should hopefully work. And I've seen Braveheart 4 times. And how's it, Hamish? CA's Craig, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Hopefully you've enjoyed the day of rugby that has taken place so far. There are 3 matches live at the moment. Dragons taking on the Ospreys, Leinster versus Zebre, and then also this match, the Stormers versus Benetton, currently sitting 6 points to 8. Now line out here for the Stormers. It's going to be thrown in over the top. Currently, just when we are looking at the other scores that are taking place. Wow. Well, that's surprising. Zebre are on 14 points up against Leinster, 19 points to 14. So Leinster are still leading, but Zebre are making it difficult. Now popping the ball up, Schickerling, going across now to the right-hand side, little cross kick attempted, going into the hands of Ruan now, cutting back inwards, can't quite get his offload away. Now 3 or 4 forwards joining into that breakdown. Benetton's defence not really known for having easy gaps, and that Dragons-Ospreys game, it still sits 0-0 between those two sides. Now, where to watch live? URC TV will be your best bet pretty much everywhere in the world, with the exception of the countries that do have a broadcaster available, such as South Africa. Oh, drop kick attempt here from Yuri Matia. Misses away to the side. It's going to be a 22 dropout. Why did the Stormers do that? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I get you're trying to get some extra points, but it just seems like a strange choice. Yes, we had Robert and Charlie Cockerell way back in the 70s. Thoughts on Wada Kalant deserving more test caps in his younger years? Underrated. He's got a lot of talent, Wada Kalant. And he's a tricky one because I feel like he'll have 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10 games. But then he also will have the 2 out of 10s and the 3 out of 10s. And he just struggled with that consistency. I still think he'd go all right at international level if they did need another option. You know, Billy LaRue's not getting any younger at the moment. And, you know, there are a few injuries around. With Ava Lelefasi, that one's going to be slapped back now. Knocked on by, they've said, Evan Russ first. So it is going to be the Benetton scrum. Is Sasha Feinberg and Zulu off the bench? He is not. Not going to be playing in this contest. Yeah, the drop goal attempt just went away to the right-hand side just not too long ago. Hi, people, says Daryl. Welcome in. And how's it, Hamish? We have got there, Pulsar Stormers fans are in the house. Yalekading. Says Scott. And at the moment, they are slight favourites to go on to win this game, but it has been chopping and changing all throughout, pretty much 50-50, the way that it sits. Remember there was a cartoon or movie with Tricky Dicky in it, Hamish, long ago? I do not remember that. Hopefully someone does, though. 27 minutes through. Give me another scrum feed here. And there's a number of bots who people say are past their prime. Vili, Bongi, Eben. You agree with Hamish? I think that certain players, like even in your list, they will still be able to offer a lot to the Springbok side, and I do think that Rassi will probably want them for that next World Cup. But they are getting to that point how, you know, age is catching up with them. You know, someone like an Ebenezer, he was not far away from retiring from rugby because of how many head knocks he had taken. So it only takes one more and he's gone. I don't think he'd end up coming back for any more rugby. So it's a tricky one because, you know, the likes of a Vili LaRue, he can offer you so much in terms of that vision from the back. But then at the same time, you know, you want that speed of the youngsters, and that's where you get someone like a Fassi or sticking Damien Williams at 15. Now thrown in. And Galant is very talented, but similar to Evan Roos of the back line, says McNulty. Now Stormers with the ball 30 metres out from their line. Divanache is digging around for it. Which channel in New Zealand? For New Zealand, it's through URC TV. Sadly, they don't actually have a broadcast here in New Zealand, so you do have to get the pay-per-view or the season pass on URC TV. But the good news is, since you are in New Zealand, you'd actually get access to the whole season. Yeah, some of them are becoming a bit hit or miss when they were always bulletproof, says Yanko. Now, 40 metres out, Andy Urin. Going back across to the right. Philly will probably not make the 2027 World Cup Springbok team. Depends on who's injured, though. Like, if there are 1 or 2 injuries, I would not be one bit surprised if Philly Leroux is in there. And I also wouldn't be one bit surprised if Philly Leroux travels with the side in some sort of coaching role if he is not in there as a player. Little chip of mine from Jacob Umaga. Another knock on. Does mean that after the mistake from Yuri Matea, again another attacking chance here for Benetton. Ball on the outside, nicely hung on to. Man on the inside if they want it, but they go to Lewis Liner instead. And he will run it around for the try. And Benetton now take the lead. As Wayne Vermeulen involved with coaching, he is still involved in the setup, yes. I think Villy had a swan song when he played his 100th. But then since then he's played another game, hasn't he? And if I took that many hits, I'd be comatose by now, says Ruth. See, that try from Benetton, the first thing that comes to my mind is the fact that the Stormers tried a drop kick. Down the other end of the field, gave up their territory, and from there, Benetton just slowly worked it away and got themselves the try. You have to wonder whether or not it was the right choice from the Stormers, and at the moment it would seem not. Yevali is on 101 now. So here's Yanko. Now ready to line up this one for Jacob Umaga. And it does just that. That kick has gone over, making the score now 13 points to 8 after the 30 minutes have passed in this contest. See, just the 30 minutes ticked over at the moment. There's still 2 more games taking place later on tonight as well in this URC competition, or this morning, depending on where you are in the world. Leroux, the big boss. Dwayne Vermeulen is coaching, but very little in rugby. Dwayne is mainly involved in UFC coaching now, and working with Drakis. There's Yanko there too, and Stormers wake up, says Julian. Yeah, they are currently down by the 5. All is in the hands of Benetton. You just aren't going to win a territory game up against an Italian side in Benetton. They just do it so well. Now rolling this one back. Stormers wake up and back later jobs to do, says Bruce. Now going up for that one. What a Calant. Oh, drop ball backwards for Leleon Zas. Looks a little bit slippery out there at the moment. I want a pair of Villy Leroux's autographed jockeys before he retires, says Ruth. Well, I guess that's a unique dream, but each to their own. Come on, the Stormers, says Bruce. See there, another knock on from the Stormer side. What was the Sharks score? In the end, Sharks able to get themselves the victory 29-19, I think it was. Could be wrong, but I think it was something like that. Hang on. URC. Where are we? Yeah, 29-19 was the end score. It's pretty bad, the fact that I couldn't remember it, even though we just covered it, wasn't it? And South African teams have almost all had handling errors, handling issues this round. And Dobson is a clown, whereas Sasha, this guy's brain dead. Dobson go, F yourself, mate. Says WLK. Well, it makes me wonder whether or not maybe he was told not to play Sasha. You know, there is a chance that maybe because Sasha's not there, that it could be Sasha and Mani or Sasha and Hondre as the first match next weekend. Because Pollard didn't play for the Bulls, although I think that was also due to his wife giving birth. Kane and Moody didn't play for the Bulls. So I think that Rassi may have had a little bit of a say in terms of who was playing and who wasn't. And Sasha has been left out. Yes, Benetton says, hey, no. And I was saying, she said it without a laugh. Fabulous. Where can I watch the game for free? Sadly, not a lot of free options for these matches. Unfortunately, a lot of them are behind paid subscriptions. Marin and Melancello. Very good for Benetton, says Tommaso. We need Dragons to make a comeback, says Haino. And there as well. How are they sitting? Oh, they're sitting 7-0 at the moment. Leinster leading 24 points to 14 so far in that game. We've seen Alex Soroka. Kenny has scored himself 2. And actually, Soroka's scored himself 2. So 2 men doing all the job at the moment for Leinster. Rassi been phoning around telling all the URC coaches who they can and can't play. Says Yanko, are you going to cover the Munster versus Cardiff game? Sadly not, only because during that time I will actually be doing a filming session with someone for their channel. And yeah, we'll end up overlapping. for that one. But now, scrum reset yet again here. 33 minutes through in this contest at the moment. 13 points to 8 in favour of this Benetton side. They have not lost at home in over a year. And that is the way they like to keep it going. Any developments in the Jan Vezel's 9-week ban? Is the appeal still on? I think it's still on, but I haven't heard anything other than that. You pronounce those Italian names so well, Hamish. So here's Ruth. That is a big push from Benetton. They get themselves the scrum advantage. And they'll go back for the penalty. And again, this is just an easy 3 points. If Benetton want it, they can keep on tapping these over. And all of a sudden, you're in the lead by 8. Just from continuing to tap it over. I think you're right about the drinks break having to do with how quick the games feel, says Yanko. Yeah, that 3-minute cooling period does take a lot of wind out of the sail of a game. Like, it's understandable because, of course, it is extremely warm, but it does affect the rhythm of it just that little bit. Yeah, just saying about Jacobu Munga's kicking ability. He has got a very good accuracy so far. And I'll make the cushion bigger. And I look away for a few minutes and Stormers are losing. What happened? They went for a drop kick. And it's at a time that they really shouldn't have. Benetton have then just taken 3-pointers when the Stormers' discipline is lacked. And Jacobu Munga, he doesn't seem like he ever misses. Where is Sasha Feinberg and Zulu injured or left out? I believe left out, but I do think that there are certain players that were left out on purpose. I assume maybe Rassi did have a say in it in terms of who are the guys that he wanted to make sure were going to be available. Their 10 is annoyingly good, says Yanko. Yeah, he just slots them over all day, Jacob Umaga. Did it in the Galley Premiership for a little bit of time too. Murphy's Law, don't touch my family jewels, says Ruth. But yeah, just ticking this over again here. But now going off to the left-hand side. A little bit of a spin attempted there. JD Schickerling. Not too far out from the line now. Divanacha going off to the right. Little bit of a grubber. That's not good. Again, they've just gone for the same move. Oh, tell you what. That is even worse from Benetton. They may have just butchered that. And I think Ruan now is saying that he's got that. That was what I thought was a pretty bang average kick. Has turned into some pretty bang average defence from Benetton, and it has actually been awarded as a try. Although they are checking this one. So unfortunate for Jan Hendrik because of the international window coming up. They may have killed it before he scored. And Leinster 26 to Zebra's 21. Tell you what, they're going all right, aren't they? The old Zebra side. And they ain't going, or they ain't going to have a look. Now, Ollie Davison, lots of box playing today. Says Lewis. There were certain guys playing, although someone like a Kana Moody was left out, I did notice. Andre Pollard wasn't playing, but I think that might have been because of his wife giving birth. I think that's Ruan Nell's try. Once again, it looks like it was something that was far from a perfect kick, but it's actually turned out to be the best possible thing that could have happened. Oh, although the Benetton hand's in there too. I think Ruan Nell's hand, it's looking simultaneous. On-field decision was try. Okay, your on-field decision is correct because there's on-field grounding. Oh, okay, no, this isn't a try, sorry. I think on-field was actually no try. Difficult call, says Sakabola. Okay, so it's either going to be a 5-metre scrum for the Stormers or a goal line dropout for Benetton. I think this will actually be a 5-metre scrum for the Stormers because it did hit the knee of the Benetton player in the field of play. No try, says Sakabola. Oh, what happened there now sounds comical. Yeah, a bit of a confusing one there. Taken in goal by Green. So it is going to be a 5-meter scrum here. Wait. Taken back in by Green. Oh, wait, which Green? Both teams are Green. Never mind. Okay, so it's taken back. Wait, no, but taken back in would mean that it's the Stormers taking it. Or, sorry, Benetton taking it back, right? I think they've given this to the wrong side. But it's going to be Jacob Umaga. Kicks it down to the halfway line. Now the Stormers have to try and get this counter-attack on. And that's a poor kick. That's gone out on the full from the Stormers. So it does give Benetton another line-out chance, about 38 metres from their line. And ouch, says Ruth. And boo, says McNulty there. Why the Stormers wearing green? That's a very good question. I'm not actually too sure. Other than the fact that it's the alternative strip. I think they used to have a black alternative strip, didn't they? Way back in the day. But this year it is the green. Which actually overlaps with Benetton's kit more than if they were wearing their home kit. And scorers Leinster 26, 0-14, 29 minutes. So here's Tiger XI. And a high Hamish high all. So here's Wild Lobster, hope you're doing well. So we'll go like this. We might as well check what the odds are sitting like at the moment. Oh, Zas making a mistake. Currently, the Benetton side, they are now favourites. Shouldn't that have been a scrum, says Sakabula? I think it should have been. I could not find a working channel for this game, so end up following your advice and buy the URC TV feed, says Juan Pierre Bosch. And if it is something that you're going to have to do multiple times throughout the season, because it's about $15 for a match pass or something. So I would recommend getting the season pass if you are going to consistently use it. Can watch all the replays on there as well, but it's just cheaper if you go for the long plan rather than the short. And been playing green all games. Says Gron, was their away kit last year or their alternative strip last year also green? Or was that something that came in for this season? I think it was last year, but then maybe the season before was that, was it that grey or that white for their away strip? I think new sponsor says Gron there. 40 euros for the season, says Juan Pierre Bosch. And Stormers need to score next. Come on, boys, says Sakabula. The ball is there again for the Stormers. Just 2 minutes remaining in this first half. It's some pretty below average decision making throughout this game, but that's going to be popping back onto the side of the Stormers with JD Schickerling. Knock-on advantage in their favour as well. Blue and white. Says Gron there. Amatongo. Going to get the steal on the breakdown for Benetton. Pretty quick in those breakdowns. Once again, just kicking it away for the Stormers. So giving the ball straight back into the hands of Benetton, who will be able to look for that kicking angle just outside of their 22. Pretty below average decision making is the polite way to put it. And HR approves, says Big Rig. I'm rolling it back. Andy Uden told to use it again. Oh, big collision. Ow. That would have been a hard landing for Lewis Line. He almost did a cartwheel in the air, but now breaking through. Chance here, Yuri Matia showing off the quick step in. So maybe a player is down for the Stormers here as well. Nice step from Similani. This is where they do need the try, and they need it before halftime. Evan Ruiz chopped down by the Benetton defence, and the penalty goes the way of Benetton in the breakdown. They are quick at getting in there and getting the steal this time, Thomas Gashaw. Just talking about that mistake. Well, I don't think you can call it much of a mistake there from Evan Ruiz. He just took the contact, but Thomas Gashaw over the ball. Stormers being manhandled and Benetton racing. And Stormers are behind at halftime. I was hoping 21-7 by now, says Xander. They'll get it before halftime, says Yanko in there too. Yeah, hard landing for Lewis Liner. Oh. What's happening here? Okay, no one on the 3 on field tried to talk to the referee. I think they were just having a communication issue. Did you get to bat? I did. I actually opened the batting because I had to leave early for the NPC final. Meant that I had to go out there and try and kind of bat a little bit higher up the order than I normally would. Our family has subconsciously decided to keep you on the TV indefinitely. To be fair, we've had enough live streams that you could probably just leave it running over and over and then you'd probably always find something. No eagle has flown away again, and Cobus will get a brace if and when he gets on. And GG says Menton there. Maybe a comms issue. It did sound that way, and I think her microphone did cut out a little bit earlier on too. Holly Davidson. Benetton on the breakdown like a pit bull on a poodle. Yeah, they've been sharp throughout this first half. They are going for the line out here, Benetton, so deciding to go for one last attack before the end of the half. Andy Uren back in the middle of the field. This is where the Stormers' defence has to be very strong and they're disciplined too. Hello again, everyone, says Jimbo. Welcome back. Oh, penalty. It's going to be against number 6 here, Paul de Villiers, for the elbows on the ground. So again, it's the easy 3 points if Benetton want it, and they can just keep on ticking the scoreboard over. They've set a double-figure lead heading into the break. Hi, Jimbo. Says Darren. Hi, Jimbo. Says Wild. How's your world today, Jimbo? Hi, Jimbo. Says Suckerbill. You're a popular man, Jimbo. Look at all these people saying hello to you. However, their Stormers run coming to an end. Love to see it. Says Hayno. Now, again, chance for Jacob Umunga. He hasn't really been missing throughout today. Hi, says Franco there. Hi, Jimbo. Says Big Rick. Oh, will you be in the UFC? As in, will I be doing the UFC? Or we probably won't be because of when it has taken place. Oh, he's actually missed for Jacob Umunga. Okay, that was the commentator's curse. Well and truly. We've got Wayne in here. He's got High as well. And also, nothing's coming to an end yet, says Yanko. And where's the box? Chislin, Sasha, Kirtley, Marnie, and Grant. Not happy with what's going on at the Aviva, says Jimbo. Well, it seems like there's a few mistakes that are happening at the moment. So, yeah. How's the ref doing so far? It's been all right so far. I think Holly Davidson's had a decent control of this game. Definitely with the fact that there have been times where the communication between the other referees seems like it may be affected. And honoured, cool story. Says Jimbo in there too. And I can't settle down with Stormers and Green. It's confusing, says Ruth. Well, there was one earlier on how they said about how Green should be penalised. Or not penalised, sorry, but Green took it back. And I think they actually meant Benetton. But because both sides are wearing green, it's actually really confusing. Unless they have a red card and Zebra got a yellow card now. And yes, Jacob of the Italians, Umungas. And also bonus point, so important in the URC competition, says Casper. I just assumed Stormers were leading, says Cool Story. And also we have got there now that you are a leader, or you are our leader. Speak some words of hope and motivation over the Stormers supporters, please. And at the box of the 2007 Fought in the Ring main event, one Danny Russo. And also taken back by that guy with the hair. Says Yanko. Yeah, so it should have actually been a scrum feed for the Stormers, right? I think that most people are on that same agreement. But just the one try for the Stormers in this game. That coming from Sunday. Try for Benetton was Lewis Liner. And, you know, just intriguing. Do you think the Stormers can still win this game? Absolutely. They've got enough time left. Only down by 8 points heading into the second half. So, you know, they've got a decent bench. They have had to make an early change due to the injury of Sinatla, which I think was a big one right from the get-go. But, you know, you look at this team and you look at the skill level of the players out there on the field. They've got 40 minutes to really get something going here. I'm not sure if you've spoken about it. Do you have any thoughts on the Jan Hendrik Vessel situation? We have talked about it probably about 10 times already. But I've said that if he's done it, he deserves the ban. But if they haven't got proof that he's done it, then it's, you know, it's a bit of a rough one for him. But, yeah, if he has done it, then he should be banned for as long as he is, because you don't really want guys grabbing ball sacks and breakdowns, because that's not good. A mistake by the ref like that can cost a game. How do you fix that, says Ethan? I think the easiest way to fix it is don't have both sides in green, which could have been very easily avoided in this match. And imagine Carter and Nas both with the 50-22 rule. Says, hey, no, I see, it was special to see Lomu and Just become friends after rugby, says Xander. And to commentate UFC, I think, is extremely difficult, says Kesper. Just had the most hypnotic eyes. And also, Cullen will make excuses as always. Leinster and IF, or IRFU don't have the guts to sack him. I wouldn't be surprised if he is looking for an IRFU job. And also, Ishmael bad, sorry, dude. No, it's okay. To be fair, though, it's like, yeah, it's a weird scenario, isn't it? I think that's one thing that everyone can agree on. The fact that he's just like, it's just come out of nowhere. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, he grabbed a guy's scrotum. And we don't have a camera angle that shows it, but you have to believe us is pretty much the gist of what it is. Okay, thanks, Tiger XI. In wrestling, it is okay to grab the B-sacks. Why ban it in professional rugby? Says and Springbok is green, so everybody really likes that colour. Okay, thanks. Says no there. 1 second, we'll go like this. The moment, at halftime in all the games. 12 points to 7. Ospreys beating the Dragons. Leinster are leading 26 points to 21 over Zebra, and then 16 points to 8 the score in this game between Benetton and also the Stormers. But what we will do is we will show you the bench for this contest, ladies and gents. I'll pop myself over to the side. There we go. Bernasconi there in that number 16 jersey alongside Tita Chaparro and Zilochi as the front row replacements. Zuliani and also Federico Rusa. Fa'asa'o, Garbisi, and Drago. This is a good Benetton team. You know, you look through at the starting lineup and you think, okay, they've spent all their money in the starting side and they won't have a lot left. But nope, they still have plenty of guys can make the difference. Just the 6-2 split here for the Stormers. They have gone with Ruben van Heeren, Array Smith, and Ackerman as the replacement forwards outside of the front rowers. Kobus Reinach, he is still yet to make his way onto the field. I don't think he'll be too far away either, though, because Duvenachen, don't get me wrong, he's gone all right, but the tactic's been wrong. They've been going for too many kicks. They need to start running that ball. But then the tricky thing is, when they run the ball, they keep on losing it because Benetton are lightning quick in the breakdown, so they're almost isolating themselves a little bit too. So she's a tricky game to play. But looking through at what is to come, Ulster are going to be playing up against Benetton. That is in 34 days' time. So that is the next round of the URC, Munster versus the Stormers. That'll be a good game. Be keeping an eye on that one as well. That is also going to be around the same time as the Sevens is taking place, I believe. Have a quick look. What date's that? That is that's the 29th, I think. Oh, no, that's the 30th. Okay, so it's actually, luckily, the Sevens finishes at about 6 a.m. That game starts 30 minutes later. So we're going to be able to possibly do both, depending on what other games of the URC are on for that round. I can't really remember. When do the Sharks play? Sharks play later on that day, so that works as well. So it'll either be the Lions or the Bulls who have the early game on that day. And the question is, which one is it? I'm going to go here. We'll click on this one. If it isn't the Lions, it will be the Bulls. In fact, now I remember it's a South African derby, isn't it? That's the wrong one. But it's going to be Lions versus Bulls at 1 a.m. So that will overlap with South Africa versus Fiji. We'll get it sorted. We'll find some replacements, hopefully, and get it all organised. You know what the score is between Leinster and Zebra at the moment? It is 26-21. At the moment, Hamish, you think rugby become too soft? Do you miss the physical games before all the modern day rules? I don't know whether or not it's become too soft. I think that it's become too complex. You know, back in the old school days, there was a lot of physicality, but there was also a lot of free-flowingness to the game, even with that taking place. Because there were less rules, it wasn't refereed so much under a microscope, and there weren't 50,000 laws that they had to try and work out each and every time. So I think that also comes into it. Super weird that this came up in the chat in the previous game. With Hamish says a big rig. And good thing that Leinster game is on Premier. I get to skip it. And Benetton are serious here, says Ruth. And so it's 13-14, Jimbo, and plenty of rugby before then, all the autumn internationals. A lot of slap fights with Europe in the horizon. And Bulls and Lions are basically out of this competition. I wouldn't guarantee that. I think there's still plenty of time remaining. And, so not much, should I? Probably not, no. That will be a pretty brutal kind of 48 or 72 hours. And imagine Zebre beat Leinster. I think we all deserve to see that, says Haino. But the thing is, Munster beat Leinster. And normally when Leinster get beaten, they come back firing. But in this case, they haven't really found that rhythm. Imagine Zebre beat, I read that one. Lions fairly beat Ulster up today. Physical game with no dirty play. I played in the 70s, you could ruck the man out, says Daryl. And it also, discouraged people from getting into those breakdowns because they knew that was going to be exactly what happened to them. We're over there. 26-21 to Leinster, that's crazy. Says Yanko, high scoring one. And then the other game, it is 12-7 in favour of the Ospreys over the Dragons. Are you thinking down that bottle of water? Probably. There's not that much in it. There's how many mils would that be? 400 mils, maybe 300 mils, something like that. We've got, thanks Daryl, says Haino, and also Dragons comeback, says Haino there too. And we have got the come home with tog marks on my back. Do you remember this? That was a 10-week ban. Do you remember this? That was a 10-week ban. What are we talking about? And to be fair, I don't think many people care about the Welsh race to the bottom, says Yanko. Bit harsh, isn't it? Who is the top Welsh side at the moment? Is it Ospreys? Or are they down one moment? What was it sitting at the start of the round? Top Welsh side was Cardiff. And then from there, it went Ospreys, then Dragons, then Scarlets. Yeah, so whoever wins that game between Ospreys and Dragons will actually get a nice little boost on the table, get themselves towards that top 8. Not maybe even close to inside it. I know Dragons versus Ospreys is quality. Watch the clip, says Yuri. Watch the clip. What clip are we talking? Cardiff, says Yanko. And on a my day, says Daryl. And Leinster at 12 feels odd. Says Xander there too. Probable battle between the Welsh teams. I don't think we're a mile away from this game getting back underway, though, for the second half of rugby. That table isn't quite up to date. Sharks moved up more. That is true. That is why I said it was the table at the start of the round. Since then, we've also seen Glasgow. They actually moved into the number 1 spot. And, of course, the Stormers, if they win this game, if they can get that comeback, they can actually move into that top spot too. Stormers back out there on the field wearing the green. Also, the opposition, Benetton. Open the link. It will explain the 9-week ban. I don't think links come through on YouTube chat that I know of. However, there should be a nervous affair, second half. And if the Stormers lose today, it will be their first loss of the championship. That is correct. Yeah, they are undefeated at this stage of the competition. So, a bit of an anticlimactic way for the momentum to end. Definitely because if they were able to win this game, you kind of, you're moving forward quite nicely. Yuri, there is no link. Says Haino. Now getting ready to kick this one off. It's going to be Benetton going from left to right this time. Jacob Umaga to get us back underway. Whistle has been blown. And Oswald Red was silly by him. He will have to improve his kick chase. Oh, nicely taken there by the Stormers inside of their own 22. Cardiff versus Edinburgh. What are the odds? Says Haino. Cardiff were $1.30 favourites compared to Edinburgh's $2.90. Oh, it's going to be taken back in, so not able to kick this one out on the full for Dufenacher. Curious to know how much time they're going to give Kobus Ronak. Once again, very nicely taken under the high ball for number 15, Matt Gallagher. And how important is it to peak at a certain time of the competition? And should one not entertain that thought? I think that you just look for any points you can get. It's got to be the end goal is get to the top 8. And then from there, if you're a good side, you want to try and get that top top 4 so that you have the home finals and whatnot, but you just have to take every single point that's available, game by game. So like the Stormers here. You see, if they were going to lose this game, they have to be within 7. Get that extra bonus point to just keep them ticking over. Nicely taken by a Watakalant under the high ball. Nobody revenge the boys as we speak. And moment of silence for our women's cricket team who lost terribly against Aussies today. And that band has got everyone's undies in a twist. Excuse the pun. So here's Stephanie. Now going back across to the left-hand side here. Zachary Porthien has made his way onto the field. That is for Sunday. Taken again. Around the halfway line. Watakalant making the tackle on his opposite number, Gallagher. To the left-hand side once again. Told to use it there for Andy Uren. That one's going to go high. He did take a lot of seconds there to get that one out. Interesting that Rassi blacklisted the box, but not the debutant Portien. Yeah, so I guess, well, the thing is Damien Willems is still in the side, which is a bit of an intriguing one too. And it does tell you maybe that there are certain selections that are being considered for that matchup against the Japanese. It's going to be kicked down the middle of the field. Once again, well taken by the Stormers. And this one back. Looking for the 50-22. It's a decent angle there. It will go out about 30 metres from the Benetton line. They don't consider going quickly. And Ackerman is under big scrutiny currently as a Bulls coach. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He got the job, and it's exactly what Jake White had to deal with. And now, he is going to have to deal with it as well. It is a sad reality of being the coach of the sides that are expected to do well. Is Ackerman the right choice for the Bulls? People talk about bringing back Jake White, but he signed with some other team now. So here's Anna, which channel to watch in New Zealand. For us in New Zealand, it's on URC TV, the website. Now line out throw for the Stormers. They managed to claim this ball, sitting about 30 metres out from the opposition line. That looked a little bit too high from Andy Uren. And as tackle attempt, Divanacher trying to pass that ball off to Ben Jason Dixon, who did have a little bit of a slip there. Evan Russ pick and go around the side of the breakdown. Benetton once again trying to get that steal. Don't think he was on his feet very much at all there. So yeah, the advantage now going the way of the Stormers. Inside ball from Porthien. Back across to the right-hand side. Skip pass, bouncing into the hands of Ruan Nell. Now finds himself out on the wing. So that kind of answers the question in terms of who is going to find himself playing in the wing role. Now backline movement here. Nice stepping inwards from Similani. I see Evan Russ lurking near that near touchline. Going back for the penalty though. Ooh. They're almost ready to go there. The Stormers with a pick and go chance. Oh, they've called for the shot again here, the Stormers. I guess I did say that they had to try and get within 7, but they haven't had a huge amount of attacking chances. Harlequin's a hard team. See, there's Daryl there. Ready to try and tap this one over. They just haven't had enough time with the ball in hand, I don't think. Dominguez yellow carded or yellow upgraded to the red. I'm a bit happier. Colane's knee is hyperextended. And if Nas Botha can be approached as coach for the Bulls will win every game coming off over their road. That kick has gone over from the Stormers, now making the score 16 points to 11. How's that, brother Hamish? How you doing? It's been a while here, all cool says Beauty. It is great to see you. You're doing very well. We're up to our 6th live stream of the last 24 hours, so we have been talking flat out. But almost at the end of it. 35 minutes remaining. Benetton currently leading this game by the 5 points. Taken by the Stormers. Oh, a big clean out there in the breakdown. Bit of a low pass for the Stormers as well. Now we have got there, is he coaching any team? He does, or he should if he doesn't. Now loose ball. Benetton able to clean it up again. Well handled by Andy Uren. A penalty advantage at the moment, or in fact, sorry, knock-on advantage. I thought there was another stream. There is. It just isn't inside of that 24-hour window. We've got the stream later on tonight, Samoa versus Tonga. That has taken place at around 5:45 p.m. New Zealand time. Right, there does look like there's a bit of an injury here. Thomas Garchaud is down, and it looks like the Stormers are frustrated about it. I don't think Nas coaching currently, says Gasper. Oh, this doesn't look good for Thomas Gachot. This looks like some sort of knee injury or something along those lines. He looks in a lot of discomfort. They are rubbing an ice pack on it, which you'd assume will help a little bit, maybe. You're giving him a bit of spray as well for it. No, he said, he won't coach millionaires. Says Daryl, the two Italian teams causing quite the stir this evening. Yeah, I mean, they certainly... They haven't... Well, Benetton are supposed to be 50-50 in this game. But... yeah, Zebra up against Leinster wasn't supposed to happen. Would be a star, says Daryl. I think it's more the thigh muscle than the joint, says Yanko. And Ospreys are very decent, says Haino there too. We've got the donation from Philip Bailey. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. For the South African Rands. Now, I recently learned that a bucket of chicken from KFC in South Africa, I believe for, how much was it? It was like a 25-piece bucket. And it was like 400 Rand or something like that, I think it was. Which is incredible, because here in New Zealand, for a bucket of chicken, you're looking at like $30 if you're lucky. And Hamish, you're doing great, says Ruth. I don't know why I started talking about chicken. I think it was because of the South African Rand that I saw, so that's where that came in. But now, Odegaard enters the fray, says Jimbo. And 400 Rand, did you see that? Or it might have been cheaper. Might have been about 20 pieces for 350 or something about that. Are you sure about that, Hamish? Says Big Rig. I think it's through one of the apps, maybe. I was talking to someone about it. That would be literally half the cost of the UK or KFC here. Yeah, it's pretty cheap compared to here. Now going off to the left-hand side. Oh, that one's going to be nicely taken. This one down to the 22, having a chase back there for Benetton. Good foot race coming from the Stormers. Geez, fully retreating. Evan Russ just couldn't quite get the ankle tap that he was after. As Hebrew and South Africa the chicken. I saw a match with an Irish commentator the other day who kept talking about an orgy. Took a minute to figure out that he was trying to pronounce Arigi. And also we got the hello Hamish and Stormers fans. What a tough game. It is tough at the moment, but they are only down by 5. 9-piece bucket, approximately 185 Rand. A 9,015-piece bucket. That's a pretty good deal. There's a few spaces in there that are quite confusing. 21-piece bucket for 369 Rand. See, that's about how much you'd pay here in New Zealand to get 10 pieces. What kind of chickens do you have in New Zealand? The ones that we get at KFC are dead. But I'm not too sure of their, like, as in, like, what kind of fanciness of, like, the type of chicken. That one's going on the outside. Cutting back inwards here. Similani, one more pass to Divanacher, who is just short of the try line. Pick and go now there, and that was the wrong choice. They are driven backwards there, sitting 5 metres out from the line. Damien Balimza looping around. This has to be a try and getting over Huri Matia. It looks like they are not too happy about it there for the Benetton defence. Oh, yeah, I've got there, was that forward? They may check it, I would say. I take it back, you are correct. 21 bucket for chicken is 370, says Haino. I want to check that second last pass, one pass. The build-up looked a bit forward, hope I'm wrong. Says Yanko. Right, sounds like it's maybe clear. A great steal from the Stormers, and now back to 16-16. As the Zebra have a red. I think Leinster also do have a red as well. Are they cooked? Chickens, yeah. Normally, if you get them from KFC, they do cook them first. It's, yeah, be a bit rough if they didn't, wouldn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of calling on the outside coming from Similani. Happy to be wrong then. And here in Gauteng, we are cooking with this heat wave. Now sitting around the halfway line. And at least 140 grand will buy you a 6-pack. Says Philip there. That is true. Wait, we talking 6-pack of chicken or 6-pack of beverages, Philip? Right, a few changes making their way onto the field for Benetton. First half, not very spectacular. I think the Stormers have the stronger bench. Treviso, well in the fray. It will be a very hard fought and very interesting second half. Have fun, says Tommaso there. Beer, says Anthony. Now inside of the 22 again here for Divanacha. Now kicked high. Chasing after this one. No one's really at the advantage, I would say, in aerial battles. That's nicely taken by Ben Jason Dixon. That's claiming around that halfway line. 16 points to 18 is still too close for comfort. Absolutely. Another kick in behind. Attempted by the Stormers. Looking for that 50-22, and they get it. Great kick there from the Stormers side. Starting to take a little bit more in terms of that territory department. Damn, you're lucky in South Africa. We have to catch the chickens ourselves, says Andrew. Bucket of KFC. It's about $27 in New Zealand. Is it? That's cheap, because around where I am, it's like 30-something. I believe. In terms of just the 10 pieces without the sides. Although they did have a thing last week or the week prior, how it was you could get 10 pieces for $20, which was like the best deal they had in a long time. I'm just going to quickly look through at the box of chicken. 10 pieces of secret recipe chicken. Oh, I have to put in my address. Right, I'm going to just quickly, hopefully, I'll just say that I need to pick it up from this location. Order a pickup. Sure, 10 a.m. Bucket of chicken. It's still only $19. It's because they've got the special deal going at this stage. It's called like the hacks or something like that. Used to be around 30. I have to go to KFC. Now I'm talking comparative South African price. Okay, I get you. Now, ready to throw this one in for the line out. Although I will mention, I didn't realize that it was still on special for the chicken side of things. So you've shown me the light there. Now I just have to get some sleep so that I can actually travel. And Hungry Lion Chicken is grip, says Desmond. I'm guessing Yuri Matea converted it himself. He did, yes. Managed to get that one over. Now attack and run forward for the Stormers. So they sit 22 metres out from the try line. Kobus Reinach onto the field now. Yuri Matea shoveling it onto the outside. It's just such strong defence from Benetton. Right, Stormers get the penalty. They have to kick for the corner here. I get that you could be ahead by 5, but rolling more this every day of the week if they want to go for the win, which I think they have to. Are they going to do it, though? That is the question. They've called for the shot at the posts. Just looking around at the moment, we do see... Has even Rus gone off the field? Who's the one who's actually been replaced? Because I do see that number 21, Ruan Ackerman, is on. I'm looking through to try and spot either Ben Jason Dixon or Evan Rus, and I didn't see either of them in that play. That's a mistake, even if they made the kick. Says Yanko and Chicken Lickin. Time to visit Cape Town, says Hassan there. And also, I remember when living in South Africa, KFC does breakfast too. Oh, that's fancy. Commentary's poop, says one beer Bosch. Now ready to line up this kick. And that one's gone over. So they've got the extra points. But, I don't know. Is that the right choice, ladies and gents? You lead by 5 now if you're the Stormers. But if they had scored in the corner there, that could have been the difference maker. But I guess at least they lead by more than 3 now. I'm a bit split. Who kicked last conversion for the Stormers try? Yuri Matea managed to get it. He has done all the kicking so far for the Stormers. Not sure about Ben Jason Dixon, but Ruiz is off. Says Yanko. So yeah, not good news. That's an early change of Evan Ruiz, or at least it seems that way. But now, Kobus Reinach kicking it in behind. Not your conversation, the URC comms is Poops. And also we have got there 3 points was the wrong call. Needed the line out, says Xander. Do you have Nando's? I think we do, but nowhere close by. I think the closest Nando's to me is probably about 3 hours away. You have to chase the bonus point, tries win matches, says Louis. And yeah, there's no guaranteeing that Benetton can't get 2 penalties back to back and just tick it over to them leading anyway in this scenario. Now Reinach, back across again. Yes, and also use as a bribe with traffic cops, says Daryl. One more penalty, and it's a 2-score lead, says Peter. That's true, although they haven't had a huge amount of penalties throughout this match. One's going to be put high. Nicely taken again by Jacob Umaga. Now, nice step coming forward. I'll tell you what, Mendy's got a few different steps on him. Andy Uren across to the left-hand side, and once again, Benetton in a good position on the park. And yeah, I thought it was too early, and Ruiz was playing well. Now Ackerman has to play 30 minutes now on the outside here for Benetton. Passed on the inside, and they will score the try. They are going aggressive, and they are reaping the rewards for doing so as they now get back into this game and draw with the Stormers. Now check that second last pass, or that last pass again, I would say. And we have there now they've got a problem they've got themselves into. Exactly right. Benetton, we're always going to go a little bit aggressive as this match did wear on. Just, I don't know. And now that kick from the Stormers, says one Pierre. Yeah, if they win by 3. Oh, okay, they're actually checking this one. It may be a knock-on, or not a knock-on, sorry. It may be a 4 pass, that last one. We have there, should have gone for the corner, says Christopher there. Game is back and forth like ping-pong. Okay, the TMO's found something, though, by the sounds of it, so it may have actually helped out. Stormers here. Right. What have they worked out? Just finding the angles. Potential knock-on is what they're looking for. Length of back to 15 minutes at least, or at last. And what did the Stormers do wrong there to give away a try so fast after a restart? Right, they're checking it here. Right, that's actually backwards in that breakdown. I don't think that's bad from Benetton. Well, they're going to call it as clear separation, though. So even though he was in front of the ball and also going forward with the ball. Okay, so they're actually going to give this as a no try. I like the new layout. As like you have the backing of the team on each shoulder. Says one Pierre Bosch. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do it for more games of the URC in the future. Do let me know, do you prefer this font? In fact, we're gonna quickly, while we've got this stoppage, 1 second. We'll go like this. I've got 2 different texts. All right, it's going to be no try and called as the knock on. So the question is, do you prefer, looking very closely because it's only subtle differences once it loads. So we got this text, as you can see there, and we got this text. Okay, so this is 1, this one here, 1, 2. Which one is better? Do let me know. We're cool in our favour this time. Okay, I think that there Lamaro just went over and said, was it clear and obvious? 1 says travelling. Which one was 1? That was the other one, wasn't it? 2 says 1. UIC commentator agrees though. Vote number 2. Now they look exactly the same. 2, 2, 3, 2. I prefer 2. Is this 2? This was 2, wasn't it? You sound like an optometrist testing 1 or 2. And current text for this match says Ethan. Okay, so we keep it in mind. Because 2 does seem to be the more common. Oh, another penalty, this time going the way of the Stormers. I make the font in a black metal logo font. And the one you have now says Louis or Lewis. 2 says Sam. And 2 is Better Doctor, says Stephanie. That one's going to go into touch. An ice scrum call, going the right way for once. What a scientific test. Going down there. In the front, and also currently on is 2. So leave it on 2. Will do. But now, line out throw here for JJ Kutsia. Still a bit of time remaining in this contest for these two sides. Oh, that one was almost stolen by Benetton, but in the end is knocked back onto the side of the Stormers. I have hardly seen Damien Valimza in this whole game, I've just realised. Been playing as the number 12, but we've seen a lot of Gelant. We've seen a bit of Similani. But other than that, not a massive amount of Valimza. You need a placebo font, just to be sure, says Wampia Bosch. Good field position come on the Stormers. Now kicking it in behind. Again, going close to the sideline and just watching it out. 56 minutes through in this match, just another 24 to go. And Storm the best. So here's Hooligan there. See there, Siula Mali goes off, and that is going to be for Titas Chaparro. Zelocci's also on. I assume that maybe that is actually Bernasconi who would be on rather than... Yeah, it is. They had it around the wrong way. Valimza's almost invisible. Maybe Rassi called him too. Told him to take it easy. Oh, another line out here for Benetton. Remove the lineup players' sheets. As in, like, remove these so that it's just the field. And we have good there now that you mentioned it. Valimza is like the invisible 15 player on the field. Yeah, I've hardly seen him. Like, every time they get a backline movement going, you expect to see him in about that second or third role, but just doesn't end up with it. And now, throw in for Bernasconi. Nicely taken there. Once more. I prefer the names of the players on the screen. See here, Xander. Now moving forward. That's about 10 metres out from the try line here. Andy Uren, or 10 metres out from their own line, I should say. So just trying to clear it downfield. Nicely taken by Ruan now. Another offload there. Kobus Reinach. Trying to make his way across field, looking for the cross kick there, but straight into the hands of Benetton once more. Mate, who's playing better here? I would say that Benetton have looked like the better side. Even though the Stormers are leading, the Stormers, they have made a lot of poor decisions in this match, but it may not cost them. That scoop by Kobus was clean. It was. All to just kick that ball away like half a minute, or not even half a minute, half a second later. 8 minutes to go. Then I have to check the food that we're cooking. Says Bruce. Now goes high. Waiting for it to come down. Nicely taken again. Stormers. Oh, just ending up into touch there. It was maybe Huaracalant. Now moving into the final quarter of this contest. Another change is about to be made. Who calls their child Xander? Says Luke. Quite a few people. Xander Fagerson, Scottish international. We have got there, try Leinster and Argus Neyman is the most outrageous player on the planet. He's wrecking Zebre and offloading like a back street fence. And I'm in the UK. Clapping, says Crypto. Now, ready to throw this one in. Bernasconi, there's a hesitation there. And it now means that the Stormers will get this ball back with a free kick. More than likely, we'll just go for the big kick downfield and hope to play a bit more territory. As Anders' appearance, obviously. So here's Yanko. What happened to the Stormers player, Luke Watson? That's a good question. I haven't actually heard that name in quite some time. I think Leinster should have started RG. Now, that one's going to go high. Contestable, but again, grabbed by Benetton. And Casper is best forgotten. says Sakabula. Off to the left, Benetton, 25 metres out from their line. They are down by the 5 points, so at some point they are going to need a try. Whether or not that's going to be in the very near future, you know what they say, if you play bad, you still win, you're doing something correct. Says Daryl. One's knocked back now, Matongo. Slotting it back. In fact, that would have been Alistair Van Mark, and it's another knock on now from the Stormers. We have their evening, Hamish. And his family was last in news for massive corruption. Lovely. And Stormers aren't even trying to turn over any balls. Yeah, I don't think they've gone for any breakdown steals that I can think of recently. But, yeah. It's strange. It's not a classic Stormers game. And how's it, Oaks? And also, Xander is like a Dutch man name. Says Luke, or a Scottish name, like I said, Xander Ferguson. We have got there, go Stormers, we can do this. Says Wendy. So I guess Luke is annoyed that we've got the player names on the screen. So we will take a vote, ladies and gents. Do you prefer having the player names up here? Or do you prefer if it's just the background of the stadium completely across the field? We'll have to do the vote because then Luke can be happy. See whether or not he is in the majority or whether he's in the minority for it. That's a good kick in behind from Benetton. How's it, my other brother Daryl? Says Daryl Roberts there. I'm on the Stormers, says Bruce. Names up, says Sakabula. Name leaves the names up. Names, please, says Jimbo. I'm not even sure what you're asking anymore, says Big Rig Joe. Background of the stadium. Says Lisa, keep them back there. Says Ethan. I leave names up or get rid of them. If so, leave them up. Names up, says Christopher. Names, says Graham. Names up, says Bruce. Okay, so names are cool, says David. So it seems like the names are winning. In that department, I like the names. I've checked every now and then who a certain Italian player is, since I don't know them. I leave the name, says Frederick. Yeah, well, it just means that if you guys are watching the game as well, you can actually get away with just having the names. You know, you can get a quick little look. Lost this one, big time. Sorry, Luke, the driver's spoken, says Stephanie. I want you to add more names. Whose names, though? Just random blokes? You probably find some random names to put down on the bottom. A name's up there as new, or as now, says Lewis there. Another line-out chance here for Lewis Liner. And his Benetton side. However, there, who's ladies' game here? Who's ladies' game here? Who's ladies' game here? Is it like cricket? There's a Cricket World Cup going on at the moment for the women. Now going off to the left-hand side. I reckon a porno for the background. I don't think that would fly on YouTube. I think they might get angry. Any ladies' game? Oh, any ladies' game here? DM me. I see you're trying to set yourself up in like a dating situation. And Sakabula, who you're currently playing for. Led the Women's World Cup as a woman. Says Big Rig now going off to the left-hand side. Andy Uren, chance again on attack for Benetton. They had their last strike disallowed. I guess we can see you carried. Says Daryl. Pass back across again. A big collision there. Can you be my wingman, sir? I don't know how good I am with the wingman or the main man situation. Because I have a messed up sleep schedule. And I, don't go outside. So I don't know how much help I'd be. I would be liquor if the subs came on and it shows the name change on the screen. That would be. I don't know how to do that sadly yet. But maybe one day we can try and work that out. We have got there, Hamish, monetize a dating channel here. Or can monetize a dating channel, says Stephanie. I like the fact Holly Davidson keeps the line out straight. Some ref let too much slide. And another penalty is going back for Benetton. Now they have a big decision. Do they take on 2 3-pointers here? Or do they go for the try? I think they'll take 3. But I don't think they should. I think they're once again in that predicament now. Maybe they should go for the 3 points. No, what did I say? Now I'm undecided. Sakamula, we need a replacement for Villy LaRue, 2027. Right, they are going to go for the 3 points here. Like they've said, easy points. We go for the try. Very messed up slip, but don't change that. Says Daryl. And we do Casper, and it's not me. You're just trying to line up the extra 3 points. Looks like post, says Yanko. Currently 14 minutes remaining. Just using up every second that he can there. Jacob Umaga for hooking it. Away to the side, he's missed again. He's missed 2 in a row. He went from looking so casual with them, no matter where they were on the field, to now missing the easy ones. This is a bit of an intriguing development in the scenario. Like they said, neither of the kicks that he's missed have actually been that tricky. And not even a beer during your streams, very disciplined. Says just me there. It looks like Lamaro is making his way off the field. That is for Fa'aso'o. And Benetton had less than 15 minutes left. And they need to take the 3 points. Well, they missed the 3 points, unfortunately, for them. So now they still find themselves down by the 5. Now off to the left-hand side. Oh, looks like a bit of an injury here for, I want to say that's one of the Stormers players. He looks in a bad way at the moment. I think it's JJ Kutsia. Which team missed? So it was missed by Benetton. Come on, the Stormers need another try, breathing space. And the Stormers says, Ethan, we're going to see the collision now. Oh, yeah, JJ Kutsia gets his head crunched and he was knocked out pretty much in contact. I need to update the Stormers logo. To update the... Oh, no, that's the online scoreboard. This one is the updated one. That's the one that we recently had kind of put together. But that one itself is just the one on the online scoreboard. Scoreboard correct on your display? It is, yes. 21 points to 16 at the moment after 67 minutes. And go the Stormers, says Ferreira. Andre Hugo Finta back on. He will be, yes. They'll have to make that change. Gets the high five there from Lewis Liner. And yeah, it doesn't look too flash at the moment, JJ Kutsia. I've been blowing on my screen, pushing his kicks wide. Says Lewis. And when the stress levels are up, it is easy to miss those easy kicks. That is where Andre Pollard is different. The more stress, the more accurate his kicks become. And score was better than when I last year. What did you do? Nothing at all. It just seems to be that it actually doesn't mind updating now, which is fantastic news, and hopefully it keeps on doing that. I just stepped out quick, who scored for the Stormers. Last try was scored by Yuri Matia. And then the original try was scored by Sandy. That are the 2 tries that they've been able to get. I wonder if people just join your channel at times, only just to talk some crap for a laugh. They absolutely do. I feel like some people just go on the internet to do that. And I understand to the commentary as at last the Sharks managed to win. I went and watched some Asia Sevens at Muscat this morning. Lots of expats in the teams. Ladies from Iran played some good rugby, says Joss. Now scrum reset here till the 13 minutes remaining on the clock. It gets closer to the closing moments. Benetton are still down by the 5 points. Starting to slip away from them a little bit here. Sharks possibly the worst side in this tournament. Says Crypt. And Benetton a last minute drop goal to lose as they aren't playing. Says Daryl. Polly is cool as ice. He's pretty safe. And he off the kicking tee. And will the Stormers recover from this physically? I'd say so. They'll be rearing to go. They've got their next game in about 30 days' time. Sharks are the furthest from their potential, but they're definitely not the worst overall, says Yanko. Now backline movement here for Benetton, popping it on the outside. Jacob Umaga goes to Lewis Liner and wrestle towards the sideline from Lelion Zas. It isn't able to drive him out. And a drop ball there. It's gone backwards. Or has it? No. Called as a knock on. Kick a bribe with the Rand. And yes, we will, says Anthony. And also we have got their, when we're there, even not a scrappy Stormers game. And Stormers storm on. So here's Anthony, and also Stormers need bonus points. Here's Casper, and they will not get one from this game. They've only got the 2 tries at this point in time. So they would need 2 more. They were to get themselves the bonus. Now there's a chance of a bonus, though, I should mention, for Benetton. They currently do have that bonus point for being within 7. And it sounds scrappy the way you are calling it. It is. It's pretty stop-start throughout the second half. First half was a lot more smooth sailing. This half has been a lot more of the kind of stopping and getting going again and that sort of thing. It's going to be the penalty, though, going the way of the Stormers this time. No cards in this game. That is true. URC Chumps podcast. Going to be hot this week. And is this Umanga the son of Tana Umanga? I think so. Or a nephew, maybe. It might be a nephew of him. Eating up more time off of the clock at the moment. Whereas play on the field currently at the moment, the Stormers are about 25 metres out from Benetton's line, and they have got themselves the line-out throw. Out rolling maul. And that's going to be another penalty advantage. That is for a side entry coming from Benetton's number 8, which is one of the Canoni brothers. Now ball on the outside, little grubber attempted here, jumping on it again. They're obsessed with that grubber, Stormers, and with the exception of Benetton making that mistake at the back, we haven't actually seen it work. 3 debuts for the props today, 2 loosies and a tight head. Yes, he is Tano Umanga's nephew and good rugby prodigy, and also we have there who has the ball now. It is once again still in the possession of the Stormers. They've got themselves a penalty chance to add an extra 3, which would put them into an 8-point lead here. You have to think that that is almost enough, although you couldn't guarantee it. Once again, anything can happen. And Benetton has been conceding a lot of penalties, says Yanko. And now, Yuri Matia. To take the shot at the post. And Matia going for the post. They definitely missed Lebok. Says Skips. And take the point, says McNulty. Yeah, well, at the moment, it seems to be the only attack at the moment, the move, is to go out wide. Oh, Yuri Matia sneaks it over. Makes the score 24 points to 16. But yeah, put it out wide, then go for a grubber. That's the move that we've seen probably about 5 or 6 times. It did work for the 1 try. Or at least it was almost a try, of Ruan now. It did actually get disallowed. A lot of kicking as well. Here's HDB. Yeah, with such a dangerous back 3, you'd think that they'd be willing to get it going a little bit more. See, the hair is growing back, Hamish. Says, hello, kitty girl. Yeah, it's taken a little while, but it's slowly getting there. We have to decide whether or not we're doing any sort of forfeits throughout the November Internationals. That is going to be a knock-on from the Stormers. And hooray, says Milbay. Ruan Ackerman running it back forward and just, loses that ball in some huge contact. Sasha's moving out via Zoom right now, says Anthony. Is there still enough time for a bonus point try? Not really. Stormers would need 2 tries in the next 7.5 minutes. And don't get me wrong, it's not impossible. But it also, they haven't really looked like they have intent of scoring. And here's Xander. Big break in the midfield. And they're in the corner to finish the move, says Jimbo. A mohawk when you hit 100k, says Tonian. How serious of a mohawk are we talking? Are we talking like this long with the strip up the middle, or are you talking like has to be the spiky one? But now, ball's available for Andy Uren. Still time, 7 minutes remaining in this fixture, and just taking contact there. Jacob Umanga, not impossible, but unlikely. Yeah, the more likely is Benetton to get back within 7 and get themselves the bonus point from this game. I do a carpet monster. When you're at 100k, I have no idea what that is. A mohawk mullet, don't mess about. Says Tony in. Jacob Umaga. I haven't actually seen a huge amount of Ignacio Mendy ever since that disallowed try. Xander, come visit me in Pretoria, says Luke. Now 22 metres out. Benetton need to get some phases going together, maybe in a penalty advantage. Up their sleeve as well, rush defence there. I'm still looking for Damian Valimza, because I've hardly seen him today. It looks like he's almost going to make a tackle here. Oh, he just got pushed over to the side. Back across to the left, Benetton still that 20 metres out. And there's a knock on. Chance on the counter attack, and they've decided not to go for it. I think it might have been a double there. And Mohawk, I would guess Naaman, says Nathaniel there. Now, what's the Stormers' game plan from here? Tackle just defence to run out the time. I think that they'd attack if there's the chance, but there's not much happening at the moment. We have got there Rain in the Mill Bay also, and ask your hairdresser what a carpet monster is. Innocent looking enough, so they won't mind you asked. Says cool story. And Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica, I believe. Says Tonian. But currently sitting with the just 5 minutes remaining. Why not just do why not just good for some teardrop tattoos on your face while you're at it? And raining here below Table Mountain now as well. And I hope it stays on the eastern. And Storming and Benetton though. Yeah, currently the 8 points difference between these two teams. Bit of a stoppage here for an injury. The second half has felt very long. I will be honest, first half absolutely flew by. There was action all throughout the 40 minutes. The second half has dragged heavily. How do you get your @names highlighted? I'm not actually too sure. I think it's just if you put @ and then the person's tag. It kind of works. Stormers just don't seem to be gelling just yet. Hope the autumn international break does them well. Says Ian. Put a photo of Damian Valimza in front of you. You'll see more of him. That is true. He just hasn't been around in this game. Like, I've been waiting for him every single time, waiting to see him do something. And no, he hasn't really been here. But then they're still winning, so it's like it's not the end of the world. You know, you're still in that scenario of good for the Stormers. Just tuned in, seems like a scrappy game. Not the same Stormers beating Leinster. Says Renier now kicking from inside of their own 22. Does manage to put the ball into touch. I think it's also highlighted for you. Other people don't show up as highlighted. Well, it's only highlighted for you, says Yanko. Bonus point try for Zebre. That is massive for them against Leinster. And thanks, Tonian. I've been wondering how to do that, says Sakabola. Another line-out chance. We are just waiting for that final 4 minutes to pass. So 3 out of 4 for South Africa. Yeah, the only side to lose for South Africa was the Bulls, but 3 in a row here. Well, of course, unless, of course, Benetton do fire and get something going here in this final moment that you've seen. Or absence of Sasha Amani can certainly be felt. And if Japan beats the Box next weekend, then Hamish to shave his eyebrows live on stream? No. Got to keep the eyebrows. Like, worst comes to worst, if you got a bad haircut, you can wear a hat. But if you got no eyebrows, it's very hard to hide that. It's the likes, people. So here's Luke, just out of interest's sake. Have you not been approached by corporates to promote them in your virtual billboards? You do generate traffic? Not really, to be fair. I feel like maybe something that I could look at in the future. I've had a few, like, fake companies, the ones who are, like, impersonating real sides. Oh, Damian Valimza is down with some sort of injury here, maybe a bit of cramp. the moment, I reckon the Bok players are struggling to lift themselves after the Rugby Championship. Possibly. Good tackle just now from Damian Valenza, not completely invisible. It looks like he's hurt himself in the process of making said tackle. And they're charging more for water now because of pipe leaks from corruption. It's a cool story. Just the 3 minutes remaining. Shave the bush then, says Andrew. Which bush? Like the beard? Is that what you're talking? Very boring, says Daryl. It's been a rough second half. I'll be honest, probably I don't want to say it too harshly, but it's been the worst half of URC rugby that we've had since probably Sharks Dragons. And that game was pretty brutal. Or, in fact, no, there was another game, sorry. Who was it? Sharks versus... Was it Sharks Benetton that ended up being super low scoring and no one really got anywhere? In fact, no, sorry, it was Sharks versus Cheetahs, I think, in the Carling Curry Cup. The stream is sponsored by Raycon. And Hamish, how do one pronounce your name? Just Hamish, I think. Hopefully that's correct. We don't need ads at your channel, please, says Mill Bay. Yeah, it's not like YouTube ads. It would be like popping up at the top and whatnot. Keep the channel going. Now, 2 minutes remaining. This one's going to be kicked high. And Boring is my middle name, so no issues there. Score for the Ospreys. At the moment, it is sitting, 1 second. Ospreys Dragons, 19-19. The most likely scenario at the moment in that game is actually a draw. And then they must not have a lot of time remaining in that one. Missed conversion in the 77th minute for Tennis de Beer. And there was ways around the ads, but view them to support Hamish. Says Tonian. A nice kick from Valimza too. I said it's a bit of a deflated ending to this matchup. Line out throw for Benetton. If Stormers can get themselves a steal here, could still be one last chance. It's going to be overthrown and knocked on right. Picked up by the Stormers. We may get one last try in this contest. Pick and go. He's over the line. He did get it down. Holly Davidson did not see the grounding, but it will be awarded. And it should be the try for the big man. I think that's Ruan Ackerman to finish it off. Hamish, good show. Says Gron there. Thank you very much. We have got there Hamish. You spent a lot of time on here. You should benefit from it. Get sponsors. Says Sakabola. And also, Holly Ruling held up. I think it was just because she was on the other side. But I think it has been now cleared as the try, or at least it should be. And brilliant, says Milbay. How's been Jason Dixon performing? Hopefully decent since he's picked for the end of year tour. He's been all right. He's probably been, like Evan Ruiz, we saw a lot more of in the early stages. And Stormers take control. And yeah, that's a grounding there for Ruan Ackerman. And Holly has a fabulous ref. That's better, says McNulty. And yeah, it just makes you wonder why they didn't try to chase a bonus point in this game, the Stormers. That try is going to be awarded. That is the third. And knock Hamish. Hamish who? Miss, I forgot to do my maths homework. Well, there you go. Enjoy Holly. She's always fair. And right time says one beer Bosch. Ruan Ackerman has managed to score that try. Late try there for this Stormers team. And a couple slaps on the back of the head from the teammates too. Thank you, Uncle Hamish, for the commentary. Says Andrew, no worries whatsoever. It looks like they are going to use up the rest of this time. This makes no sense to me. Like, if you had the chance of being able to get the last... Why are they... If the Stormers kick this early, they'd have a chance at getting a bonus point from this game. And Benetton don't gain anything either way. That's going to be full time. They don't get the bonus point. Why? That's confusing. But I guess it's a win. A win is a win. Yuri Matea gets man of the match. But wouldn't you try, like, with the fact that they can't get within 7, wouldn't you go for one last attack and see whether or not you can get that try? and try and get an extra bonus point to maybe secure the later, like, home final or anything like that. So much for fighting spirit, says Big Rig. And anything after this, not at this stage, up until around maybe about 10.5 hours time. We are going to be doing the match between Tonga and Samoa on the channel, so be sure keep an eye out for that one as well. But nonetheless, yeah, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. There is also 2 other games of the URC that is coming up just around the corner. And they are going to be Cardiff taking on Edinburgh alongside Munster versus Connacht. We have got there, Sasha would have got it going again. Says McNulty there. And maybe they got, they also get full. In the second half, says Youngko, and John Dobson needs to talk to his team about being more aggressive, about getting those bonus points. And thanks again, Hamish, you're the best. And Stormers love it. And thanks, Hamish. Have a good weekend, everyone. Says Sakabula. And out there too. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure to pop in for that league stream if it is at a decent hour for yourselves. And then also alongside that, we have got plenty more videos coming up in the near future. We'll have that Springbok lineup prediction around the corner too. So be sure to check it out as well. But thank you all very much for being here. And I will see you all for the next one.